Gonna have a great crafting time.
Hello, everybody. I almost said happy Tuesday, but it is indeed not Tuesday. Okay, I did hit the streaming button. Hello, how is everybody doing today? Feels like a Tuesday, but it's definitely not a Tuesday. I know we're usually live on Tuesday. And don't mind the Cricut. Don't go looking in your house. It's the Cricut in my house. So, I've had a Cricut in my basement. He moves around and you can't find him, but I've named him Jiminy, and he was in my craft area yesterday. So I'm very happy he's moved because he was incredibly loud right here. So when I came down today, I'm like, thank goodness you've moved across the basement, but you'll probably hear him chirping. And it never fails. I'm down here, he will chirp the whole time. As soon as I'm like, I'm done, I'm leaving, goodbye, Jiminy, he's quiet. And I'm like, why? Oh, thank you, Nico. You're too sweet. Oh, hello, Nico, Beth, Jamie, Sue, Gloria. Hello, hello. So today we're going to do, actually, I am going to design, and then we're going to see it as something, like I've already cut it, because I already go through and design and figure out what I'm going to show before I do it. So we can go ahead and do the whole thing from designing, and then we can go ahead and assemble, which it is really easy to assemble. Let's see. It is very easy to assemble. There's just the part of putting little foam dots on the letters is the only part that takes time. Other than that, it's quick to assemble. So we're going to go ahead and Design Space and design that. So you'll have 2 cards with this when you're done. What has everybody been working on this week? Oh, did you guys see the mystery box came out? We had a mystery box released today, and it has a new cutie in it. My new cutie right here. It has the new Poppy cutie, which I think Pumpkin Spice would be like a really good name for him. That's what I think of when I see him, as Pumpkin Spice. So if you didn't see the mystery box video, we do have that, and they have the mystery box available still. So, and there's lots of sparkly goodness in that too, which you know I love my sparkle. Hello, Sarah in Arizona. Hi, Deborah. Glad you joined. All right, anybody coming in, don't mind the Cricut. Thanks, Sue. Sue just posted the link for the mystery box if you need it. And the link is in the description below, and the link to our giveaway too. I want to mention that in case I forget, because once I start going, I easily forget things. So we're gonna go ahead in Design Space, and then I'm gonna show you the two cards that we're gonna make today. Now I get quiet. The Cricut gets louder, I swear. All right, so I went ahead and looked for images for this. Now we're gonna make 2 eclipse cards. Just want to make sure that that is loading right. Okay, it is. Put this over. Hi, Jalen. Hello, Miss Judy B. Glad to have you. So I'm gonna do a card style. I haven't done this yet, but I've seen lots of them done in Design Space. So it's called an eclipse card, and I want to go ahead and look at some projects and kind of show you what they are. First, have any of you made an eclipse card before? It's kind of, there's all sorts of different ones here, and some are just, it gives dimension between it. So it cuts it out and gives dimension. Now I'm going to do it with words. This one here is one that's done with words, where the happy is out and it stands out from it, and you pop it out with foam dots. So we're going to do something along those lines. But there's all different, if you look in here, there's all different eclipse cards. I thought this one was really pretty too. And you could pop it up more if you want, but it just has the little window. I thought that one was really pretty. Okay, so I found 2 images I like. Now, for the eclipse cards, and if you look, you'll probably see, yeah, you'll notice that most of these, almost all of these are print and cut, because those are going to work the best for this. So I went in and just searched in images. For this, I just searched winter scene, and then I filtered to bookmark. So I just went to images. Oh, I got my bookmarked. I already got mine bookmarked. But yeah, do winter scene, and then you can go ahead and filter by print and cut. I think I said bookmark, did I? But you can filter print and cut, and then go ahead and find those. And then this one was one I found. I just thought it was pretty with different Thanksgiving colors, and actually there's a bunch of different, let me scroll here on my bookmarked. There's a bunch of different options of this too with different colors, which I actually really liked this one too for like Halloween. I don't know. I love the I love the leopard and the orange and black gingham there. But we're gonna go ahead and use the top one, and we're gonna do the circle one first because I did something a little different when I did the Thanksgiving one, so I'll show that, but we're gonna go ahead and start with our circle here. Yeah, they are pretty. You just gotta pop them up with those little foam dots, which I did a lot of beforehand because we would be here all night if you waited for me to stick all these on and cut the little the little tiny foam things for the back. You'd be here all night, so I did a lot of that already. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and make my card, and I want to make it like a 5.25 round, which surprisingly enough, I went into projects and I was thinking for sure on here that there would be a circle card base blank, but I can't find it, which I'm gonna make one and put it in Design Space and make it public. That way you can easily just find a circle base. So we're gonna go ahead and make that. So to make that, I'm gonna go ahead first and take my circle here, and then we're gonna hit the edit. And I wanna add an offset to this. So just click offset. And to offset, you're actually gonna go to the right of the divider. Actually, I'm going to offset this twice now that I think about it. I'm going to do a very little offset like this and apply. And that is going to go underneath what I cut out, but then I need to do one more offset, and I'm going to make the base of the card from that. To the 0.125, and then we'll go ahead and apply. Okay, once we have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and move this over. And if you guys notice, I have that new Batman, well, the Batman belt. It's really called the shortcut toolbar under here, but the little nickname is the Batman belt because it's like his little utility belt. So here I can group, flatten, attach, duplicate, and delete right underneath my images there. And you still can use like keyboard shortcuts and all that, and then several of them are also over here to choose too. So once we have that one, we are going to go ahead and duplicate. Oh, I just duplicated the whole thing. I didn't need to do that. That's my smaller offset. That's my biggest offset. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. I just like to hit Command D for that. And then I want to take this offset and this. And I'm just going to, if you see I clicked on each, well, you can't see my keyboard, can you? And I hit shift, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just move these two out of the way for a second, and I'm gonna work on these. So we're gonna make our card base just with these two circles, and the only other thing we need to add is a rectangle between them, well, and a score line. So first I'm gonna click on both my circles, then I'm gonna come over to align, which now is over here in the pop-out toolbar, and I wanna align the top of them. Hi, Peggy. Glad to see you in here. All right, next we're going to go ahead and jump over to shapes, and we are going to grab a rectangle. Now you just want this to go ahead and connect the two and have long enough that you can... Jiminy is really going at it here. At least there's no awkward silence. There's not with Jiminy here. If I'm quiet, he's going. Okay, and the whole point here is we want to connect these. Oh, it's so funny. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in too if we want. I'm just going to make this white because it's going to be easier to see. I think I'm going to bring this in. I don't need that much of it to fold over there. And then I can go ahead and hit and align center vertically if I want, and then it put it right in the middle there for me. Now I want to go ahead and add a score line, so I'm just going to grab that. And then bring that over and go ahead and shorten that. I'm not going to attach that just yet because first I'm going to go ahead and weld. All right, so I'm going to hit this circle, hold shift, select this one. And there's welds not down here, so you're going to hit the little toolbar here, and then we can go ahead and weld those. Did I not select? Oh, I didn't select the little square. And select the little square, and then hit weld. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and change this to light blue. And we have our card base here, but I do want to go ahead... Oh no, that's okay, I can do that. I do want to go ahead and attach this. So I'm going to drag my mouse over all this, and then I can go ahead and attach it right here underneath now. What do you guys think of this new shortcut toolbar? It's only in a small percentage of live right now, so you may not have it in live, but those that have it, what are your thoughts on it? So this one I'm going to go ahead and make white. Go ahead and bring this to the front. And we're going to actually duplicate that because I'm going to have that for the insides also. So we'll have 2 more for the insides that we can duplicate. Is the Cricut as loud to you guys as it is to me? Do you hear the Cricut? I'm just gonna bring these over here. Okay, now we're gonna work on our eclipse part. So the way we wanna do this is we wanna knock out, we're gonna cut directly through this. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a font. And when you grab a font, you want to really, a thicker font is gonna work the best because you're gonna glue all these letters on too. Hi, Donna Lee. Yeah, Mindy, you got it. Yeah, you should definitely have the AI tool. That's, I believe, out in all the live and the beta, so make sure you do an update. Gloria said, yes, he is loud. And he's far from me. That's what's so crazy. Okay, so with our font here, we're going to have it say, Merry Christmas. So first, I do want to go ahead, well, I'll change the spacing after I figure out my font, because that will change everything. So first, go ahead and figure out what font you want, which is like the hardest choice ever. And for this one, I ended up using Agent Q, which I will say a little thicker one would have been even better, but I really like the little curliness in here, and that's what got me. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and size it. Size it down as we need. And I do want to go ahead and change the line spacing. So we're going to go ahead and hit our little edit pencil up here. Right, Sue? Makes me feel like I'm camping. You know what's funny? I literally was like the other day, was like, my favorite sound is just like when the weather's nice, windows are open in this time of year, and I just hear the frogs and the crickets. It's the most peaceful, like, favorite sound. And now there's one in my garage and there's one down here. And I was like, you know, I love that sound, but I love it outside. Not in my living areas. Hi, Luce. So to go ahead and change the line spacing here, we are going to go to line space here. Now you can go ahead, and they brought the arrows back. Look at that. That's coming back. That may not be everywhere because the arrows were gone, but you could still use your arrows on the keyboard, but the little arrows are back. So we're going to go ahead and bring these closer to each other. Camp in the snow. I do not camp in the snow. Although I'd rather go camping in like October where it's nice and cool when you sleep. That would be my like ideal ideal camp. Unless I can bring like a fan or air conditioning, then I don't don't want to. All right. So we're going to go ahead, and you're going to go ahead and put this wherever you want. And it's funny because I always design these ahead of time and then design them again, and they never match exactly how I did it the first time. So I'm just going to grab each of these, and then I want to align center horizontally. And I guess it was centered horizontally. Wow. Yeah, right, so I just like the little curliness to it. And it is a thicker like bold font, and then just a couple curlies on there. So what we want to do now is we're going to go ahead and select this, select our scene, and then we want to slice. So go over to our little edit here, and we can choose slice. Now remember, you can only slice through 2 things at once. So if you had, say you wanted to do 2 different fonts, you would have to slice through each one individually, or you could just weld each of the font pieces together, and then that becomes one piece. So then you can slice through. Yay! I'm glad you like it, Sarah. All right, and did I slice? I did slice. And then this we're gonna go ahead and delete. And then that is our letters right here, which when you pop them up, when you just look at it on here, you're like, you know, it just blends in. You can make it so you totally can't see it. So I just kind of offset it a little, but you're gonna pop those up. But I do change something on the Thanksgiving one a little bit, and I'll show that to make it like stand out even more when you do it. But then for the rest of this, I just went and found a snowman, because I thought it'd be cute to put a little snowman in the snow here. And I bookmarked so we don't have to look and look and look, which we might have to, because I don't think, oh, there he is. So I found this cute little snowman, and he's print and cut too. But you can change anything that's not print and cut to flatten for this, or I mean to cut. I don't know if I said that right. I feel like I said it backwards. But you can change anything too. Isn't he a cute little snowman? And then I thought we would add a cardinal to his... That's a really big cardinal. A cardinal to his little arm, because he has a little arm sticking out, and I thought it'd be perfect to put a bird on. You could put any kind of animal. You could put a little squirrel on him. Started to have a problem with the name of the font was Agent Q. Yeah, Peggy, it does take a little getting used to at first. I totally forgot, like, especially at first. I was like, where did that go? I can't get to it. Then I was like, oh yeah, handy dandy little toolbar. But I find we retrain our brains, like, really quickly on stuff like that, it seems. All right, so for this, I went and took the little cardinal, and then I'm gonna hold shift, select my snowman, and then I want to flatten these. So I can now choose it here, or you can go ahead and drop over from the tool panel, but it's right here, so we just click it under the image, which actually it becomes faster because those buttons are right here. You're not like going over here, hitting this and then hitting that. It's just right underneath. All right, and then that is basically our front. So that's why I said it's easy. It's like not many pieces. The only tedious part is putting the little foam dots on these. Other than that, it will go together super quickly. Oops. And I thought I should maybe like make the letters thicker and stack them together. So I did cut layers to put them together, but then I found you didn't need to do that. It didn't change anything. Oh, my little snowman. But we're gonna cut him separately, and then I did want him a little thicker, so what I did with this is I duplicated it. But I turned it all to, whoops. First unflatten it. And then I turn them to basic cuts. Oh, go back, go back. And then just weld. So I keep hitting them and I don't mean to hit them. Go down lower, there we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and weld here. That way I have the back of it, and then I can just duplicate that again, and then I can just make that thicker just to pop off. But I did make these white, actually, so I'll go ahead and make those white. I told Jiminy, I said, don't you have to go off and like sing When You Wish Upon a Star somewhere? I feel like you should go do that. Alright, I'm just gonna group. How many times do we do that? We click on something we're not trying to click on? Alright, and then we'll bring him up in there. So, that will be that there. Then we just have to do the inside of the card. So I ended up doing... For this, I'm going to go ahead and change my background color. Do you guys, don't you love that now you can choose the background color from right here down here? You don't have to click the little box and then find the little tiny white box up here to change it. So much nicer that way. It's not working. Bottom edge of your DS. continue. Oh, I don't know why it's not showing it. I'm trying to just shorten my DS and hopefully you guys see it because I don't know why it's not showing all of it. So I don't think you can see where I just changed the background color. It's right under the box. Okay, now you're seeing a little bit more. I'm just making it shorter so you guys can see it. All right, so on here we want to go ahead and get some things to put on. So I went through image sets and I found a sentiment I liked, which was warm wishes this holiday season. Some of you guys are lucky and you live where it snows and you have warm. And then I wanted to put some little mittens and I just thought these little mittens actually matched the card really, really well. We'll shrink that down. We're gonna go ahead and put this over here and I did change it to blue. I think I did kind of the darker blue. Yeah, that's the color blue I did. And you can always unlock it here too and then stretch it if you need to fit it better however you want. And then these cute little mittens. I thought these were so cute too because I love how I love the string is connected with a heart. I thought that was adorable. Adorable. And then I just want to make sure this is centered. So I'm going to choose both of those, align, and then center horizontally. Now see, that doesn't, it looks crowded. I'm going to go back. Sometimes you don't want it centered. It depends on your design because it's not really taking into account these mittens here. If I would have grouped them, it would have. All right, so now we have that, and I'm going to do print and cut for this. So I'm just going to grab my mouse, drag it over all of them, and then we are right here. We can go ahead and hit to flatten. Oh no, you might not have seen that because it's so low. You can't. I'm going to just do this up a little bit more. And let's try that again. I'm going to unflatten, trying to make sure you guys can see it. I don't know why it's not showing the bottom. That's so weird. Okay, so we'll go across all of it, and then right here is flatten in our little toolbar. So we'll go ahead and click that. And then for this one, I had this cute little snowman. Well, he's not little, he's a big snowman. And I did change some of the colors too in this, but I'm going to show you what I did to flatten it so it stands out. First, I want to go ahead and change the colors in that so I can go to my grouping here, hit the little arrow, and then whatever colors I want to change. So I want to make that more of the blue. Let's do that one the same blue. And the snowflakes. Baby blue. Kind of like that blue. So we'll go ahead and keep that. Now I want to show if I went and I just tried to flatten it. Let me show you what happens here. Oops, didn't mean to grab that. Oh, that really blends because it's blue on the blue. I didn't even see it there. If we take and drag our mouse over this and flatten, you're gonna see it lost all the, it's hard to see, right? It lost its, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? You know, the, doesn't stand out as much. I don't know what the word is. You guys can figure it out, but it doesn't stand out as much. So I'm gonna show you a trick to go ahead and make that not happen. So it looks more like this. Okay, if we take our image here, we're gonna go ahead and just duplicate it. And then we want to add a little offset. So we're gonna hit the tool there, go ahead and select offset. And you want it to be a very, very little offset. And I believe when I did mine, I just typed it in because if you want smaller, you can still just delete. And I think I did 0.015. Apply. And then it put just that little offset around it. So now when we go ahead and flatten it, keep grabbing that card. Now when we go ahead and flatten it, you'll still get some of the definition. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh, dimension. There you go. Contrast. There you go. I just thought of it as I did it. I was like, definition. I think that's what the word I was looking for. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought that was a giant spider on the ground by me. And it looked wicked and it was, oh my gosh. It's not, it's vinyl. Okay, so that is a way to flatten it. So if you ever don't want to lose that definition of your image, just add a thin offset to it. And you can change the color of the offset too. But that way, you can go ahead and do that. Did I flatten this? I did. So these are ready to go. So everything's going to be on this print and cut minus your card base. So click for that. Now let's go ahead and do our Thanksgiving one here. So we're going to take this card base and I'm going to offset this. Definitely want it bigger than that. However we want it, about there. And I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to go ahead and make this orange too. More like, kind of like that. Now I want to duplicate that. Oh, well first my offset is set to print and cut. We want to go ahead and change that. So I'm going to change that from a print and cut to a basic. And then we can go ahead and duplicate. Now we want to make the card base just like we did for the circle. I'm just going to take this out of the way here. And I want to think this side needs to be on the right because your card is going to open. When you set it up, you want to think on the right, that's going to be your front, and then your inside you'll have on the left side here. So to put these together, I need to flip this one first. Yes. So you want to make this opposite. And then you can just bring them together. They do have a straight edge there. I'm just going to zoom in on that. So you could butt these up right together. I add just a tiny, first I want to make sure they're the same top to bottom. So I'm going to hit align top. And then I go into shapes, grab a little rectangle, well, square, but I'll make it a rectangle. Did anybody get the mystery box today? I know people were saying, oh, we have so much vinyl. This one was full of iron-on, so it was great. Let me go ahead and hit my unlock. There we go. I'm going to grab that and my two offsets. And then I'm going to go ahead and weld. So to get to weld, you're going to hit the little pencil and then weld. Now we can go ahead and send that to the back. And we need to add a score line. Or not a score line. Yeah, a score line. I assure you, Jiminy's going to do this the whole thing. And then as soon as I go to leave, he's going to be like, okay, I'm going to sleep. He only gets quiet when Lucy Lou gets close to him. Oh no. There's a Cricut behind me now too. Did you guys hear that? No way, it was in stereo. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I'm like, no way did that just happen. Now we're gonna grab our score line, our welded piece, choose both, and then here we can go ahead and attach right under. So we'll go ahead and select that. That's so funny. It just did a couple seconds of Cricut, and I was like, what is that? And then it stopped. Oh no, wrong link for the Nightbot. That is, I'll have to change that. The link for the mystery box is in the description below though. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the eclipse part of this. So we're gonna take this, and I did the words grateful, thankful, and blessed. Let me look at my picture and remember which order. I think I did grateful, thankful, then blessed. Yep. All right, so we'll go ahead and go to text. And then for this, I ended up using, it was BFC Craft Table. And again, the thick, bold fonts are going to work best for this. And then just double click. Grateful. It does not have an E. Thankful. And blessed. And then we'll go ahead. Zoom in on this a little. Before we slice, we're not going to just slice like we did last time. We're going to do something different, and it's going to give a little more space around it to see it, so it pops. Thank you guys for the links. And again, if you need to change the line spacing or anything, you can go ahead and go to here, and those arrows are back. I know that makes people happy. But I think that looks pretty good. But what I did when I did mine, and I just wanted to see, because I hadn't seen one done like that per se. They usually just slice right out. I thought, what if we offset it a little? That way you could have some color underneath around the letters, just to make the letters have more definition. So we'll go ahead, hit our little arrow. We're gonna go to offset. Hold on here. I'm gonna scoot over. I'll hit offset. It's not showing offset. I don't know why offset's not working right now. Interesting. I'm just gonna go ahead, and I shouldn't have to do this, but I just want to see if I weld these. Is it gonna let me do the offset? Now the offset's working. So instead of just doing those separate, just go ahead and weld your text. And that's what I was talking about earlier too. If you have different lines or different font, you can just weld them all, and then they become one thing. So you can slice through that all at one time. Yep, it was because it's text. So just go ahead and weld them, and then you're all good to do that. All right, so now we have we're gonna go ahead and apply this. That way we just have this offset. Then we can bring this up. Thinking about this as I do it, how I did it the first time. Where is my welded? There it is. I'm gonna take my welded letters, and I'm gonna go ahead and go through this, and then we're gonna slice. We have a slice result, and then I need to take that offset. I'm gonna take that offset also, and I wanna slice through. Now when we pull this out, that will go there, and go ahead and delete. And then you can delete those. You want the smaller one here. So now I have the smaller one here, and then we can go ahead and put that. And then when you put it on, you have that color showing through, so you just see it better to me. So I like doing the little offset on that. So we'll go ahead and delete that. So that is our front of our card base. And then to do the inside of the card base, we're gonna take this, we're gonna offset, but we wanna inset it. So we're gonna drag it to the left here. And say we wanna do it about there, and we'll hit apply. Now, these are gonna give you your inside pieces here. We'll go ahead and move these down. And you can if you want, if you want to do one of these at a time, and maybe you want one print then cut and one not print then cut, you can go ahead and contour. So you can go to edit, and you can hide one of these if you want, and then work on the other, and so on. especially if you do print and cut, because it's going to make it too large for print and cut if you keep these two together. So I'm just going to go ahead and contour and make them two separate ones. And then just duplicate. But now we need the other one. Did I do that right? Wait a minute. Duplicate. Hit contour, but we want to select the other contour. So now we'll click this one and click that one off. Did I click both of them off? Is that what's happening? There we go. Now we have just that side selected. Where is it going? Oh, it's way over here. That's why. I kept thinking it was disappearing. It was just further over. That's so funny. All right, we'll delete the extra ones. All right, so we have these here for our inside. Now, and I'll share what not to do. One side I did print and cut, and one side I did basic cut. And that doesn't work well, because unless you have colors that match exactly, it ain't gonna work. So I thought, oh, even though I didn't need to print and cut the one side, I should have, because the other side I had to print and cut, and then the colors match. Oh yeah, save. Thank you guys. And we're almost done designing. And then we'll go ahead and do the assembly, which isn't going to take too long because I did a lot of it already. Well, I'll go ahead and put that in our collections later. All right, project save. So now we want to go ahead and fill something in on here. So I went to images. And I found one I really liked, but I had to change it. And now let me show you guys. This one. Is it this one? Nope, not that one. This one. Now I really liked the look of this, except something funky is going on in this image if we zoom in here. So if we zoom in, you can see this pumpkin's got some weird stuff. I don't know what's going on with the top of it here. So I loved the Happy Thanksgiving. I loved the rest, but I did not love that pumpkin. So I went and I ungrouped, which you can do right there. I'll just move this out of the way. It's not letting me grab it. Now I can go ahead and take this pumpkin. I'm just gonna delete that pumpkin. So then what I did is I went and found a pumpkin I liked, which was this one here. Which I'm gonna keep a little bigger because it's not as thick as I wanted it, so I went ahead and offset it. So again, just hit the pencil and the offset. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for crafting along with me. And we'll drag that to the right. And if you want, you can make this even bigger. And then I showed that trick before where if you want a littler offset than it's giving you, just make the image bigger. I was doing something weird. Why is it? It won't let me grab it either. Okay. You guys see that? It's not even showing it over here. It's like... And I can't get rid of it. Very bizarre. Okay. I'm just gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna grab this. I'm gonna bring it down here so we can see what I'm doing here. Sometimes things just like to do their own thing, and that's okay. All right, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna hit offset. We're gonna go to the right. Oh, loose. Well, let's apply that and see how thick a one we got there. That's okay, we can use that. I'll go ahead and delete that. And then we'll bring this down and we want to slice through it. You missed me loose. And we're gonna rotate it. We're gonna do something like that, but before we slice, we want to take this Happy Thanksgiving and we want to offset that. Go ahead and hit apply. Now you want to take the offset and select the pumpkin and then slice. So you can go ahead and delete that. And then our pumpkin here, and we can delete these slice results. Right here, the little pieces of pumpkin. Then we can go ahead and bring this back over where it was. Let's go ahead and group those. Oh, my thing disappeared. That little weird offset thing, it's gone now. So then we just went ahead and made our own. So we just took that image and just by offsetting that and then slicing, now we can go ahead and attach these. So just drag your mouse over both and then hit flatten. What happened there? That shouldn't have done that either. I don't know. This is a cut. I did find the other day when I was doing this, let me mention something. It was being wonky when it came to something like this was a print and cut that we made an offset of, and that's technically that, and it did weird. And I want to see if it does, and then I'll show you how I fixed it. Hopefully it doesn't. Maybe I had more selected. Yep, it's doing that too. And for some reason it's wanting to go to a different color, and I don't know why. And again, I'm in beta, so in live this may not be happening. But let me show you, if you have that instance where you took something that's a print and cut, and then you offset it, when you go to flatten it, it starts doing that. So I was doing it the other day when it was trying to put this print kind of like all duplicated all over it. This is what I did to fix that. I just took this piece, go grab a shape. I grabbed a square. That's one good thing. There's always usually more than one way to do it. So if one way for some reason isn't working right, then just grab another way. So all I did was take this, send this to the back, and then I just want to slice these two. So I'm going to select both, hit that, and slice. Now you can delete that. And then this is the piece that we actually sliced. So this is a basic cut from beginning. We'll go ahead and change this to the cream color. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna duplicate that. So I'm gonna flip it and use it for the other side. Now when we drag our mouse on these and flatten, it flattened it just as it should. So that is one way to work around for that. Just go ahead and slice your image out. Now we have the other side here, and then on the inside I did text. Let's bring this over. And I don't know, I was looking for sentiments for the inside, so I went to ChatGPT and was like, hey, give me a list of Thanksgiving sentiments, and it actually broke it down into like short ones or heartfelt and gave a whole bunch of options there. And I really like the one that said, and I did two different fonts here. So first I'm going to choose, I'm going to change my font to a writing font because I'm going to have it right on this side. Oh, I did, but I'm just going to do print and cut actually, now that I think about that. And the reason I was doing print and cut on both sides is so the colors match. Now you could try to figure out exactly what color to make the print and cut for cream and then do the inside cream and have it right on it. Or you can just have it flatten both sides. So it says May. I'm really glad the Cricut right behind me is being quiet right now because he was so loud. your home. I'm going to use this font again, so I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate it while I have it here. So I'm going to use that down here. And then I want to add another text box. And this one, I think I did I do Love Quinn? Yeah, it looks like I did Love Quinn. I like Love Quinn because it gives the little hearts above like the eyes and stuff too. And then it said be filled. And you can too, especially because you're flattening this, you can go ahead and make these whatever colors you want. Be filled with warmth. Your heart with joy. And your table. With Lenti. I don't think that's what I was going for there. Holly, flip the background. Oh, wait. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you, guys. Glad you said that. I totally forgot. Yep. There we go. Thank you, thank you. See, this is why we craft with friends. They help you out, too. All right, and I do need to change that line spacing. I could have done them all in one. I don't know why I added another text, so I'm just going to go ahead and change that line spacing just to spread them out a little bit. Oh, and I also changed the and. Don't you hate when you have a font you love, but then like, can you guys see the little weird and mark that's right there? It's a little weird one. So I ended up taking that off. And I ended up going to a different font and just finding an and sign I like. And I don't remember what I did for that. Let's just change it to Alyssa. Because hers, that always looks good. There we go. Now we have the little and sign. I did it like that. And I ended up using actually one of the new dual tip pens. I used the brown in there to it. And then this is going to say this Thanksgiving. What if I didn't tell you guys there was a Cricut? Would people be looking in their house like, is that Cricut in my house? I thought about that. I was like, if you didn't say anything, people might think it's in their house. Okay, and I did that this Thanksgiving. And you can go ahead and change these the colors if you want. And I ended up doing brown on mine, but whatever you like. And then I just added a little cornucopia. That was a print and cut too. Right here. I will never forget the name of this because my birthday is always sometimes on Thanksgiving. But the one year the grocery store forgot to make my cake, so my mom came home with a cornucopia birthday cake. That's all they had. It was Thanksgiving. I thought that was so funny. Ooh, I'm looking at this. And actually, I'll show you when mine's finished. So I flip those all around. We're going to go ahead. And then that would be print and cut, and you would put that. That's actually going to go on this side, and I'll show you here. So here are the ones I designed before. See if they match. This is my Christmas card here. So it looked the same. Oh, and I did alternate background too, because I thought this one was cute too. So you could put this one on the inside if you didn't want to put this one. And then the Thanksgiving card. Here's the Thanksgiving card I made. And you can see this cornucopia fits over here on this part pretty well. So Now, I've already made those, so we're going to go ahead and put these actually together, guys. We made it all the way through the designing. Make sure it's not in my house. That's so funny. Hi, Linda. Glad to have you in here. All right, now we're going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and flip over. See me for a second. You're going to go upside down for a second. I'm jealous. Alex is never upside down. I always have to rotate mine. There we go. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put these together. And only have a couple letters to go on, so I'll show you how that goes. First, we'll finish up our Christmas one here. I'm missing a piece. Where is my other piece? Looking like, where did you go? Oh, look at that. Little foam tab stuck on there. Okay, we're gonna put it together, but my piece that says Warm Winter Wishes is not here. I have no idea what happened to that. It's not in my box. That's okay. Alright, first I have my 3 little snowmen here. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue these on top of each other so they have some depth. Back to using my glue press. I didn't use my glue press last time because I had left my cap off and it got dried out, so I didn't use it. And I was like, not doing that again. Man, I love my glue press. Why is it bigger? Okay, well you would. I don't know why these are bigger. That's really weird. I might have changed the size. So these little snowmen are bigger. So I'm not going to add that to make them thicker. But you normally would, and then it'll just make it pop out on it more. Hi, Luce. And the kitty. And I noticed on my offsets too, which I'll change. It's always funny because I design them beforehand, and then that I am going to change it because I did flatten it with the cardinal. Where on this, I just had the snowman. So it was like, I'll use the one that I made live for this part. For this part, you're just going to go ahead and stick on the front there. Oh, you should pop him out. Hold on, I want to pop him out. As I'm doing this, I'm like, no, he's too flat. He has to have some kind of dimension here. So I'm just using these little foam squares, the Recollections ones, and these are 0.3. And stick him on the top. Now this is the one I did, and it's hard to see on camera, but you can see how the letters just pop out, and from the, let's see, you can see from the side, they stick out. But you can see them some, but if we went and offset those and then had like the blue showing between them, you would see them so more, but this way it just blends with the scene though, if you don't want the scene to get lost in it. But you can see how they stick out from it there. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue this on. And then I'll show you how to do the pop them up, which is easy. You just use foam squares. Or foam circles, I think would be better. I think there's little tiny ones you wouldn't even have to cut, where I was cutting all of mine. So it's all just a couple pieces to put together until you get to little foam thingies, and that's where that's where it takes the time. But other than that, it's incredibly quick to put together. So we'll go ahead and glue this on. Oh no. Lost the chat. I moved the iPad and I went to look at the chat and I'm like, oh no, I don't have the chat. What is it? Okay, that's going crazy on me. It's okay. Oh, some of the snow. Oh, I'm glad you said that, Sue. Was that Sue that said that? I know. I have 3 cats and a dog, and none of them are getting the Cricut. What's going on? Linda said, "Oh, I hear your Cricut now." There's another one behind me. Let's hopefully he don't start. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Sue, because let me grab. But you could do this, and then where's my glitter? Well, it's gonna get wet when I do this. Let me do the front first. Let me do the front as I'm thinking about this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and glue the front on. Usually I'd use my regular nozzle. This is extra fine, but my other one's clogged. I never do that too. I never leave the lid off. And I did. Could even make it look like an ornament or something too. You could put something on the top. Okay, and then inside I thought about that, putting a little fake snow on the little circles actually. I'm so glad you mentioned that. That one's too little. I'm just grabbing brushes. And you can take this Aleene's glitter snow that I love. It's like fake snow, has a little bit of glitter in it. And you could actually, this is not the right brush, and I knew that. You could actually just add some fake snow to those. This one's dried with it, but I might be able to get it on there better. Holy cow. This brush ain't working either. But anyway, just brush this on. Looking through all my brushes here. Hold on. Hold tight. Maybe this one. This one was used. This one's nice and thick too. I think the problem is that the snow is so dried out. Where's my other container? Well then, where did it go? Oh no, tell me that's gonna happen. I don't know, but fake snow on here or glitter glue. Put on the little circles and then you'll have fake snow. That will work good. This is like the end of this and it's so dry, it's not wanting to come off of here. See if my other glitter glue's right here, but it's not. Okay, but that, and then you have the warm winter wishes. So that's that one. But then let's go ahead and do our. Now I've lost a T somewhere. All right, let me go ahead and show you the Grateful Blessed card. We have a couple letters left here to go ahead and put the little foam dots on. I'm just looking because I had 3 letters that I had cut and started putting the foam dots on, and I know I'm missing my T now. I moved stuff around on it. Yeah, you could use that too. You could use, there's lots of things. You could use the glossy drops on it too. You could use, sorry guys, I'm just looking for my missing T right now. Is that not... I don't know if this is way behind. Oh, it's way behind. I'm looking at the chat and I'm like, that doesn't show what's on my screen here. I can't believe the T disappeared. Alright, we're just going to move on because that's what you do in these. Okay, so here it is with the orange underneath. You see how I did the offset and they pop out way more? Go ahead and show that in a second. So I just take these little foam tabs, and if you have little circles, is there Might be little tiny ones that you don't even have to cut, which would be amazing. But these I just cut down to size. So I would just, like, this is what the back of this one looks like with these little pieces. And then you just go ahead. Oh, the Cricut quieted. The Cricut is quiet. Okay. But I lost my T. It was right here, but then I just moved. I was so careful for so long. I was like, don't lose that. I might just have to make the T later, but that's okay. Alright, so we have our little E here. I got one little foam square. So I just take and cut these. And it works so much better if you keep it on the back and cut it, because your oil from your fingers so quickly de-stickies it. I don't know if that's a real word, but... These are your favorite foam dots? Yeah, these are little squares. I wish they had teeny tiny little circles, which I think Jamie has little circle ones, I believe. All right, and then this is the most tedious part, is just cutting the little foam and putting it on. That's why, can you imagine if I had you do this, like all these letters while we were live? But then I just took these little tiny Cricut scissors and I just cut thin lines. Oh, Cricut's back. I don't think they sleep. Like, or maybe they Cricut while they sleep. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. Alright, and then we get our pieces. You just get your pieces on the back of your letter there. And get them in line and pop them. Now, when you make this card and you cut apart your letters, you do want to make sure, like, what are some letters we have multiples of? Like the E. So you want to make sure, say you got this E lined up with the wood and then this E with the leaves, or whatever it is. I'm still looking for that T. It's got to be stuck to something, because it had foam stickums on the back. Is it stuck to me? Good, sure. Alright, so I'm just going to cut a couple more pieces here. That's so funny. Where'd they go? Things just fly away. It's under there. I was like, I just cut a piece and it disappeared. It's there. Okay. All right. Peel that off and then stick that on. And you just want to center it in the letter. That's the goal. I'm gonna have to cut this all again just to cut my little T, guys. Alright, and then cut a couple more. It might be, is it? Let me try the volume. Let me know, Linda, if the volume gets better there for you at all. It was, I think, Sue, it was because I had to move this. It's because I had to move my, my iPad onto the computer to read the chat, and I think that's why it got quieter. Let's put this here, though, so I can see the chat. There's just not enough room. Alright, and then we'll put this on the U. sticky little thing. Alright, and get one more. Yes, I did. I saved it, and then I have the original one I did save too. Which don't forget to save, people. The other day I did a whole project, did not save it, did not realize I didn't save it, and then I came back and I'm like, well, where'd my project go? And I just totally forgot to save it. Which doesn't usually happen, but it's sad when it does. Alright, and then one more letter here. I don't know, I have the Blues Clues song stuck in my head right now. Okay, glad you can hear me. Yeah, I think it's because I set my iPad on my laptop, and there's microphones in weird spaces on the Mac that I wouldn't have thought they'd been. They're like on the keyboard some, and this piece is a little thick for the line down, so I'm just gonna cut it. And this is the only tedious part of this whole card when you make it. Everything else super simple. All print and cut, and then you just cut the bases. And this is the only part that takes time. But it's kind of like making a puzzle. And you could, if you didn't want to use foam dots, but you wanted the letters to stick out, you could just duplicate them a whole bunch of times. It won't give like the floating effect as much, but kind of. But you could just duplicate them, say like 5 or 6 times, glue them together, and then keep sticking to my finger. But you can use tweezers for that too. I did use tweezers when I was doing this last night. That tea is gonna drive me crazy that it's just disappeared. Actually. I'm like, button, who's got the button? It's right here next to my other letters. Alright, but it's gone. So I'll end up cutting that just to get the tea out. But then, so this is the outside here. Just imagine the tea is there. But it looks, see how it's popped out from the sides there? And then on the inside, thanks you guys. And then here's the inside. So this is what I was talking about. I hate messes on screen. It's gonna drive me crazy. This is what I was talking about when I said do the second side print and cut, because I did the first side print and cut, and then in Design Space they're the same colors, right? But they're not going to be the same colors because you're printing one, unless you find, I mean, you could print it and then you could find like perfectly matching cardstock, but I use Cricut cardstock, so this is the cream that's in their like basic sampler, and then I use the new dual tip markers too to write on this in brown. I had a hard time deciding between brown and orange, but I just went with the brown. And then the cornucopia too, which we can go ahead, and I think I had the cornucopia going like this, so we'll go ahead and glue that on. Look at me not putting my lid on again. No. I was like, no, I never forget. Just when I'm live. When I just craft normally, I don't forget, but when I'm live, I'm like here, there, and everywhere. There's a little silicone thing here to keep it, but it just doesn't seal it all the way. And then when you put the cornucopia on, you know where it kind of goes, because it bumps out here right where the sunflower is, so it kind of fits right down in there. But if you want to make that pop out too, just duplicate it and do basic cut, just like I was going to do the snowman, and then it would stick out. Or you could just put a foam square under that too. But then that is the Thanksgiving eclipse card. But you can see the difference in the two here, where you definitely get more definition if you offset it like I did and then do the letters. That way you have some color around each of the letters. But both of these we'll go ahead and put in the Melody Lane Patreon product or projects, which you get access to these plus, like, I think it's over 1,300, maybe 1,400 now, projects in Design Space, and it's $3 a month. It starts at $3 a month, and you get access to our 24/7 crafting Zoom. In our Patreon trip, we're going to Savannah in just